So, as a writer, I have to think this way, I have to think of myself as a successful writer. As a director, I have to think of myself as a successful director. I have to think of myself. Now, I have talked to movie stars. I've talked to Richard Gere. I've talked to Billy Bob Thornton. I've talked in person to, who's that one guy? Will Smith. He didn't slap me or anything. I talked to many of them. Kevin Costner had a conversation with me. It wasn't a long conversation, but it was still a conversation. So I think the idea with Lipton was that he knew that we were going to risk everything. We wouldn't have been in New York. We wouldn't have gone to New York. He knew we were going to risk everything. But Lipton comes from a different frame of mind. It's not based in vanity always. It was kind of based in thinking. We were to think about these things. It was strategy and thought. Lipton was a thinker, and Lipton was more of kind of a writer, and he was definitely a director. He was behind. James Lipton was behind a lot of people. Sarah Jessica Parker, her career was because of James Lipton. Bradley Cooper's career was because of James Lipton. James Lipton discovered these people. So I think the idea behind his school, which I kind of compare to the X-Men school. You've ever seen, Marvel, the X-Men? With Wolverine and all that stuff. They had a school, a special school. We'll talk about names later. I'll have to look up Wikipedia and find out the name of that school. But it was a guy that wore the thing on his head, and he sat, and Stan Lee may have talked to Lipton or something. I don't know. It just seemed like it was that kind of school. We were these mutants they had found. Some of us, not all of us, but some of us were mutants. We all had these special gifts. And so he found these gifts, and then he tried to put us together, which he did, so that we would be able to do these things for other people. And so that he didn't want us to be afraid to talk about these mega stars, at all. You shouldn't be. You shouldn't be shy about it. If you're an actor, you want to be talking about Bob Odenkirk and Robert De Niro and, I don't know, the Baby Boom Fort Worth Zoo. That's what that says right there. Baby Boom Fort Worth. You want to talk about anything that comes to mind, really. You don't want to hold anything back, because then you become stilted. You don't want to be like anti-Hollywood completely. You still want to be accepting. You don't want to take sides. You don't want to build borders. I'll never do a Hollywood production. Well, get past it. Who cares? Who cares if Spielberg's funding? Who cares? Why would you care anyway? What would be the difference? A powerful person can fund an artist, right? A powerful person may fund an artist, whatever amount. And if people get all stilted over it, let them get all kind of crazy. Who cares? I mean, it's going on right now. There's some crazy stuff that's going on. People are getting all weird, but they have the right to do that kind of stuff. There's, like I said, there's no law against kindness. If you want to give someone $150,000 for a project, there's no law against it, because you can have kindness in your heart. We can't be against that. Like, especially if it's for an artful project and you see the results of that project, you can't be against that, because then you're saying, well, I want to give money to so-and-so for this particular reason. Well, then go right ahead. That's why they have these different apps that help you do that. People are weird. They get real weird about money. They think it's holy. It's not. It's there to help other people to succeed and stuff like that to a certain extent. It's there for help. And, what do people usually do with money is they buy goods with it and they further their life, for like the cost of living, So people are real shy about it, but we can't be that way in the nation, because that would just be, we'd end up not being able to have money for anyone. And nobody would have anything, We don't want that. What does a business do? A business helps you with certain things because, well, you're employed by that particular business, They're there to help, you further along your business. You show proof of your business. We have a way of showing proof because we have a script, we have a camera on set, we have things that we do. So we have a way to show proof. This is a movie, whether you like it or not. It is a movie. It's a home movie, or it's just a movie, or it's a vlog, or it's cinema. It's whatever you want it to be, whatever you think it is. But it's still being done with a camera, and it's still a movie. It's still considered a movie. It's moving pictures using sound. Face it. We're about to enter Texas Christian University. Living line. I like these types of houses with the turret on them, kind of like a castle. Those are cool. That's kind of a nice one right there. These are like some pretty cool houses. We may get one of these and run them out for Airbnb. This would be ideal for Airbnb if you wanted to do Airbnb. You could do like a night for $100, you know. These things would be beeping off the chart. You'd have it sold for each night out of the 365 days out of that year. So you just take 100 times 365, and that's what you would make yearly if you put it on Airbnb. 365 times $100 each year. At least, you know, during the game and stuff, you could up it to like 300 or 400, even something like that during a TCU game. A lot of UTA houses do that. Over by UTA, you just get a little house, put it on Airbnb, and watch it ring, especially during games. These would fill up 365 times out of the year. It's a nice neighborhood. They're probably rebuilding this one just for that purpose. This green one right here off of Bel Air. Just for that very purpose. There's the phone number. 817-822-2423. Anton Road. Going to stop and go gyros. And then stop and go gyros is right here. And they're all the way from Colorado. They're all the way from Mississippi. Is the one and only Sam Elliott, John's Grill. When Linkletter made It's Impossible to Plow by Reading Books, when Linkletter made It's Impossible to Plow by Reading Books, when he made that, he liked the idea of this alienation character that you don't really get to meet, and he liked the idea, and so he stuck with it for 2 years. It became a feature, and he kept trying it over and over, you know. And now with Lynn Driver, I like the idea that it's black and white. I like the idea that it's kind of cute. I like the idea that she talks about a post-apocalypse, but she doesn't explain how. And I also like the idea that she says things like voiceover and cut to and dot over dot, things like that. I like that she talks about film and then she shows the things that she does. I like the fact that she meets this character, which is her brother, and she records a song with this character. And I like the idea that I keep thinking about it. Anyway, we're going to drop this Mediterranean food off at your door. Step. I think maybe it might be that one. It's actually this one. How are you doing? Great. So what's interesting, here's something I heard Linkletter say the other night, and it did tick me off. And he was saying, well, you know, he was talking about, like, you know, this is a good time to be a filmmaker, and yes, it is a good time to be a filmmaker. And then he goes, well, you know, you can always do one of these films and blah, 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 and then you get it distributed. We don't need it to get it distributed. We know the purpose of film. It's not about money. When he's talking about distributed, he's talking about money. When you press the button, it goes on YouTube, it's distributed. We don't need them. See, he's a late boomer. He's not Generation X. He might write about Generation X, but he's not Generation X. And to be honest, every film after Slacker is commercialism. It's a form of commercialism. Even Dazed and Confused. He tried, but then that's when it stopped. It stopped after Slacker. People won't figure this out until 50 years or so. And yeah, he'll enjoy the wealth. But when he said that, I immediately got ticked off. Because yeah, you can do your film and then hope for it to get distributed. Well, that's immediately using extreme discretion against the artist and the filmmaker and saying, well, your stuff is, you know, may or may not get distributed, is what he was really saying. That's not coming from the mind of a genius. So, you know, you can look at films like, I don't know, Scanner Darkly, and, you know, I mean, come on. You can easily say it's pretentious. You can say anything pretty much after Slacker, pretentious. I got lucky on one film. And that film is called It's Impossible to Plow by Reading. Be sure to use BY, by Reading. It's Impossible to Plow by Reading. It is impossible to plow by reading books. Okay? It's impossible to plow by reading books. It's impossible to plow. It's impossible. It's impossible. Is it impossible to learn to plow? It's impossible to plow. It's impossible to plow by reading books. I think there's twos in there. It's impossible to plow by reading books. It's impossible to plow by reading books. It's impossible to learn to plow. I'm gonna look at the title of that. That was the one that he was able to get across without pretension. Everything else, commercial trash. Sorry. Impossible to learn to plow. It's impossible to learn to plow by reading books. That was the one that he succeeded. I think Slacker probably wasn't that commercial, even though he mentioned Madonna in it. And Madonna's pubic hair and the pap smear thing. But, you know, I mean, everything else, it doesn't matter. That's the thing. That's the sociopathic thing about Linkletters. It doesn't matter. You know, he's chewing his gum. Yeah. We went and did that shot and decided, well, if we can do that shot, then we can move the camera over here, and yeah. I know it's all frustration, but, you know, the thing is, it's like, I don't want to be mean, you know, I don't want to be mean, but you get that way, you know. The distribution, when the film is distributed, what it means is like, you have a lot of money, you're king, you've been knighted, you've been kinged, right? You're getting distributed, right? No, don't think of it that way. Take your movie, make your movie, hit the button. We're Generation X. We're not late boomers. We hit the button, it goes up to YouTube, you succeeded. 45 minutes and up, there's your Oscar possibility. I have 3 possibilities to win Best Picture as soon as they realize it's there. Once in a lifetime, From Now Until Morning, That Side, oh yeah, On the Way of Man. 4 possibilities, because I can also get it for a short film. So I have more than that too, but I have 4 features that are designed as features already. Well, basically they're 1 feature and then there's 3 shorts. But it doesn't matter. I don't have to like any specific type of filmmaker. It happened in Austin. He kept Austin weird. He did his thing. Okay, there's a time when it cuts off. He'll agree. Jim Jarmusch would even admit on a phone call if he called him. There's a time, you know, when it cuts off. You know, it would be fun to get distributed, but you don't need it. You need to love film, and hit the button. Then it's distributed. Don't ask. Do not ask. They'll say no. They don't care if you're as good as Ingmar Bergman or Linkletter or whoever, Woody Allen or Jim Jarmusch. It doesn't matter how good you are. They don't care. They'll look at it. It could be a great masterpiece. They'll look at it and go, because they're Americans and they're selfish. They want their popcorn, shrimp, and they want to be able to go to a car lot and buy their freaking car and take care of their family, okay? And that's fine, but they don't care about your art. So distribute it yourself by hitting the button. You put it on YouTube, boom. The more of these features that I see on YouTube, the happier I get. I don't care how good they are. I like watching them because I'm sitting there going, wow, This is original work. This is do-it-yourself work. Linkletter didn't help this guy do it. Neither did Quentin Tarantino. Neither did Coppola. Neither did the old school people. Neither did Scorsese. You chose to do it yourself. You hit the button and you moved it upward. That made you a filmmaker for that moment. And there's been a lot of good documentaries. I've seen great stuff. Kudos to all those people. And a lot of them gave up. They gave it their best. The boomers did not distribute it. And it's still there floating around. Guess what? You won. It's going to come back to you. You made your movie. You won. It'll come back to you. That's the same thing with it's impossible to learn to plow by reading books. It's the same thing. He won when that went to a festival or whenever he released that. He did it by sending it through the mail. They developed it. It came back to him. Linkletter won. He won with that movie. He didn't need all the rest, but he went further. He discovered Matthew McConaughey. Matthew McConaughey's the superstar, all this money. Yeah, that's the good part, but you don't need that either. You can continue to make your movie, and then whenever you're on your deathbed, you know you're a master because you can feel it inside you, right? Let them torture you. Just keep doing it if you love it. And listen, it's going to remind you. Look, there's a movie theater place right here. They're going to remind you to keep doing it because you're going to watch their films and go, wow, I'm going to mimic some of that, or I like to do that kind of stuff. Showtimes, America, cinemas, you know. You're going to still get inspired by their jealousy of you being a normal guy, making normal movies, or making whatever kind of movie you want to make. Go do it. If you really love film, come on, you live one time. You live once. Pick up your stupid phone. Don't even worry about a boom mic, because that stuff's crazy. Just get the camera mic. That stuff's French new wave art stuff. Get it through the camera mic. Get up close to them. Get up close where they're talking and you can hear what they are saying. Get your revenge in your art. Make your little movie. And listen, the more fiction, the more jealous they get. Yeah, documentaries are tough. This is tough. This takes up all my time. Ask Linda. I got time to make a sandwich and give Linda a hug. And then I'm back at editing. What do I do at night? I edit until I fall asleep and I wake up and I start editing more. I edit all the time. And that's the way it has to be. And that's the way it should be. Okay, if you're a family man, let me ask you one question, okay? Are you sitting there staring at your family for 8 hours a day? That would be psycho. All family men only have a few moments with their family. It should be that way. Never saw my dad growing up. He would come home, we'd have dinner, and I'd go to bed. You don't want to sit there and have your dad staring at you for 1 or 2 hours. You have a little quaint conversation. Yes, God told you to do this. It says it in the Bible. And then you go to bed. You love your dad anyway. And you know what? Your dad's with you anyway. Even though he's not around. That's part of Escape from Maine. And write the script. Man, write the script. Write the script anyway. Write it. Tear them up. Because they're not. Linkletter's not writing a script. He's not doing it. He probably is. But who cares? He might or might not be. Who cares if he is or isn't? I know Scorsese probably is. You know, Scorsese's really better than a lot of them. But I'm just saying that because he is. But what I'm trying to say is, look, Scorsese loves movies. He watches the 600 movies a year. I'd like to do the 600 movies a year. I know I do 300 and something. But I used to try to do the 2 movies a day. And that's hard. You watch the 2 movies a day, you know, or at least that 1 movie. But listen, I watch the vlogs every day. Ask Linda. I wake up, I got the vlogs going. I'm watching Adam, his friends having fun, and I'm getting stuff out of it. I know I spit. But I'm just trying to say, do it, you know? That's your distribution. That made me mad, okay, Linkletter? It made me mad. Do not say that in contests. Do not say that. It makes me mad. If I hear distribution, I'm going to walk out of your little conference. Because we can hit a button. We don't need you. We can hit a button and it goes right on to YouTube, funded by Google. We're immediate filmmakers. Do not try to change it. We don't live in your society. We don't live in your times. We were all born in the 70s. We're Generation X, okay? Generation X, you're a late boomer. Too bad. You're born the wrong time. You got to make it 35 millimeter. You can cry about it, or you did an 8 millimeter, it's fine. Cry about it. It's there. It's not very clear, but we like it anyway. We like you anyway, but don't say anything about distribution because we don't need it. You're a little indie. You're right. You made some points about the indie market, how the indie market's really just the Hollywood market disguised. The independent film market is really a Hollywood market disguised. These guys want to control your film. They want to send you note cards, right? They want to send you and make phone calls and say, this is how it should be. No, because it won't be personal. It'll be their commercial trash where they know they can make more money off blah, blah this and blah, blah that, and bring in Coca-Cola products and Sprite, 7-Up and Taco Bell. Who cares, okay? And that's cool too. If you want to go that route, fine, take it, you know. There's going to be people that are going to hold out. They're going to do their own thing, and they're going to press the button, and they're going to upload their movies. I'm telling you, those are filmmakers. They're not Hollywood trash. Sorry, guys. That's what I would say. You know, this is Martin Luther, you know, here I stand. You can give me the money, but do not tell me what to do. If you distribute, do not make a phone call to me. You know, privately do it or whatever you want to do, but don't you tell me how to talk to my actors, and don't you tell me what to do. I will not accept that. And I can hit the button and have it on YouTube whenever I want. Lynn Driver is going to take a lot of time because of this political Hollywood trash stuff that we have to deal with. And look, they all hate me. Look, Matthew McConaughey, all of them, they hate me. Of course they do. But listen, they hated Linkletter. They hated him. They were jealous as crap. Whenever they saw It's Impossible to Learn to Plow by reading books, they got mad. They got mad. They were insulted. When they saw Slacker, they're like, what is this? Why are they liking this? What is going on, you know? So just be wary. You can press the button. You can just press the button. Instantaneous filmmaker, baby. Instantaneous. We're going to Crispy Catfish. Do it yourself work. DIY. And you know what that is. That's not independent, okay? That's you doing it yourself. Independent film is commercial Hollywood trash just like everything else. Do it yourself, they know the difference. Because they look at it and they're like, what kind of mistakes? Like, what in the world is this trash, right? Right? And they laugh about it. DIY, do it yourself. It's Die Productions, do it yourself productions. And there's many of them. I've seen them. There's a difference between the two. You guys should be proud. Crispy Catfish coming up. That's all I wanted to say. Crispy Catfish.